GrowingDeer.tv is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Also by Reconics, Trophy Rock, Gallagher, Muddy Outdoors, Eagle Seed, Nikon, Barnes, Ansman Batteries, and Antler Dirt.
What he's doing there is urinating on his tarsal glands. That was pretty cool. We had just had a button buck feed in front of us for probably over an hour, hour and a half. He came in here just below, downwind of us actually, did a little rub urination, and then he actually licked his tarsal glands. But as a button buck, you don't necessarily want to smell too much, or those bigger bucks may jump onto him a little bit. See here. This time of year, you just don't want to get down, but the wind has totally switched and went to 180. It's not good right now for this stand, so we're going to climb down, pack our stuff up. We're going to move to another stand, and hey, you hang with us and see what happens. We're going to try to put a big one down here on the proving grounds.
It's Tuesday, November 9th, and Missouri's gun season opens this Saturday. I'm so excited. Raleigh and Ray are going to be hunting. If they happen to tag out, my dad's right there. And Monday, Connie and Jessica Barnes from Barnes Bullets are coming to the proving grounds to join me. So I've got a lot of hunters for Brad and I to take care of, and we want to make sure they all have a great hunt. And this time of year, of course, the rut's going on in the Midwest. Does are coming to feed. Bucks are coming for the does, so food is still the key. So we're scouting this week and tweaking a few stands. Join us as we go through and see where the bucks are going to be moving based on the doe's stomach. When I'm home and I'm not hunting, I love to get up early in the morning right at the crack of daylight and take a walk, kind of check everything and spend some time with the creator. And as I was walking this week, I saw one deer in this clover field, multiple deer and some beans, and multiple deer and some hardwoods on down. I want to come and confirm if that singular observation was correct. So I see no difference between outside utilization cage where deer can browse and inside. I don't see any tops nipped off, so I don't think deer are spending much time foraging here. So we're going to move on past the clover. Now this will get hot a little later on, but right now it's not the hot food item at the proving grounds. We're 40 yards from the clover field we were just looking at, and I'm amazed at the yield of these beans. Now these are Eagle Seed indeterminate beans. That means they grow until it frosts basically. And the real story here is we had a wicked drought all summer long. I was very worried. Matter of fact, I was mentally prepared to mow everything down and plant wheat or some other small grains. Matter of fact, you'll see some acres where we did mow beans down. In hindsight, that was a mistake. I knew these are indeterminate or lone growing beans, and if we happen to get some fall rains, they'd go ahead and fill out and make a great yield. And that's in fact what happened. This looked dismal during the summer, but we got some late season rains. They made more production. There's more tons per acre here than what wheat or rye grain will make. I never plant ryegrass because it can spread real easy. And just beautiful. Now, I'm seeing where deer are browsing, removing some of the pods. I've been seeing deer in this field as I walk, so I know deer are just starting to use it. No doubt Raleigh and Ray will probably be in a stand overlooking at least some beans this weekend, because I know the does are preferring him. The bucks are gonna be here chasing those does around or scent checking the area. So beans are high on my list for stand selection this weekend. Brad's adding the muddy lock on right next to our muddy ladder stand so we can film out of it, because this weekend Raleigh or Ray or even my dad may be hunting with me and I want to capture that hunt on film. Muddy stands just make it safe and comfortable for everyone to enjoy. I literally trust my family and their safety to muddy tree stands. This is a little small plot, and you can see some bean stubble from where we planted beans this summer, Roundup Ready Eagle Seed beans, but it was so small and without the Gallagher food plot protection fence, the deer only let it get about a foot tall. It fed them all summer, but it wasn't gonna make any grain production for the winter. So we come in and just drilled right over the beans, you still see the stubble, with a mix of winter wheat and rye grain. Now I will plant rye grain because it will grow, germinate, and actually grow in about 12 degrees cooler temperature than wheat will. So when it's cold and cloudy and wheat's just sitting there idle, all the way 12 degrees colder, rye grain will be growing, and that's a huge advantage. Another advantage of rye grain has a little bit more aggressive root system, and it's a better nitrogen scavenger. So these Eagle Seed beans were pumping out nitrogen in the ground all summer long. Rye grain has a little bit better job of grabbing it, pulling that back up to the surface, and either using it in this plant or when you spray and kill it, it's there as green manure, green fertilizer for the next crop we plant here. So that's the reason for that rotation. Now, we've had a huge acorn crop, as we mentioned earlier, but driving down the road, Brad and I getting ready to go fix some stands for my kids, Raleigh and Ray, you can tell that it's lusher and there's all pointy tips inside the utilization cage, but outside, everywhere I look, I can find squared off tips, and they're torn. Deer rip it. So when you see these little fibers sticking out all over, you know with great certainty that was a deer browsing there. So deer are just switching to the green fields, if you will, off of acorns, because the acorns are about gone. And I'm very confident my kids are going to see deer, and my guests are going to see deer hunting over green fields that haven't been hunted this year because deer weren't utilizing them. So utilization cage is really helping me scout for my hunting, in addition to helping me be a better food plot manager. This combination of winter wheat and rye grain is providing a huge amount of tonnage where these beans that were consumed would be having bare ground right now because of the small size of this plot. We're gonna head on up the hill and get some stands ready. I hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoy season with family this year and really get a chance to appreciate creation. Thanks for watching Growing Deer TV.